Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
But tell me, Eddie, is that a rabbit in your pocket, or you're just happy to see me?
Hello, everyone. Welcome. We are back to talk basically the direct sequel from 1979 to 1976's Rocky 2. It's basically, even though the film came out in 1979, it basically immediately takes place right after the events of the first one. So basically, you would say like the time frame is 1976 to 1977 because Rocky has a kid in this movie, which we see, and the baby we see in the hospital scene is Stallone's real life son, or one of his real life sons, Sage Stallone. I think it's like that's the son that makes an appearance
in the fourth one, yeah, or fifth one, yeah.
So,
ain't that something?
Yeah. So that's his real son. That's his real son that we see Adrian holding in the hospital scene. But we'll get into that, basically once we start talking about the movie. I'm going to tweet out that we are officially live, and then I'm going to kind of go into just before we talk about the movie, the budget of the movie and so forth, what it grossed and what it is in today's dollars, pretty much. So, because I'm always fascinated with that, given the budget for this movie estimated is about $7 million. So basically 7 times the budget for the first one, since the first one became a success the studio didn't even see coming. So, and they basically the budget was a lot higher for the second movie. But anyway, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you and all that fun stuff?
Well, you can find me here twice a month. You can find me on my own YouTube channel, Orange Hat, also sometimes called Orange Hat Reviews. You can find me on X at Orange Hat 2185 or Orange Hat Revived. That's my original account. And yeah, I do streams, tomorrow on X exclusively with Mara to discuss Warm Bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Friday will be Orange Hat Uncensored with Janet from Another Planet and Ruben Haynes. Sunday will be the weekly recap, where I will also be discussing content that I did a video on earlier today with the whole Anthony Mackie situation. I will have a few panelists on for that one. Kate from Nerd with a Cigar, Ambassadorial Wing, and NB Geek will be joining, along with Novus Renaissance. We're going to be discussing that, plus a couple other topics, as well as the Punisher 2003 movie. And Tuesday theme streams. The February theme is going to be favorite video game storylines, starting with the God of War franchise. So yeah, that'll be Tuesday at 1 p.m. and the Barroom Podcast at 8 p.m. on Society Reviews channel.
Yep. And as you said, I'll be on his account tomorrow talking Warm Bodies, which I'll watch tomorrow. And when I say watch, I mean like I've seen the movie before. When did it come out? I'm trying to remember. What?
Reacquainting.
Yeah, well, reacquainting. But when did it come out? Because the version I saw, when I say version, it was one of those bootleg DVDs while I was deployed. So it had to have been either Afghanistan. So 2013?
2013.
So I know I didn't see it in theaters. I know I was on deployment, so all right. Because like I said, I did not see it in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's not the movie we're talking about tonight. We're talking about Rocky 2 from 1979. And the budget for Rocky 2, according to IMDb, is estimated at $7 million. And I'll say hello to the chat after I go go into this. But the estimated budget was $7 million. About 7 times that of the budget for the first movie because, the first movie was a bigger success than the studio was anticipating. So at this point, they just about threw money at the second one in 1978 and $1979. But $7 million in 1979, we're just going to go with that. to today's dollars would be the equivalent of $30,245,495.87. Basically, like, a little over $30 million budget for this movie in today's dollars. It grossed worldwide $85,187,855. Okay, that basically that's the budget. Like, the budget is a little over $30 million. It grossed a little over $85 million, which would be the equivalent of grossing $368,078,416.63 in today's dollars. So it would have been on a budget of a little over $30 million and making 10, 11 times that at the box office. So not too fucking shabby.
Not too shabby at all.
Not too shabby. So, but from the top, I see Gravy D's. We'll be lurking tonight. Haven't seen this in years. No worries. Trey Courtney, what is up? Hello, hello. Conroy, hello. I see Orange Chat in the chat.
My favorite line in the entire movie.
Yes. I think one of my favorite lines is when Rocky's being is told that he should invest in condominiums.
Yeah.
He's like condominiums. I don't use them.
Yeah, right.
Says in running. I feel like in Kentucky Fried Idiot, I did like that line too, because Mickey's having him chase a chicken as part of the training, which in a way makes sense. In a weird way, it makes sense.
They ought to outlaw southpaws.
Yeah. Jarrell, hello. Time for all the codes I can come up with the app. Mr. Bentham, what is up? Okay, Roberts, hello. And Steph is going to learn the hard way military phonetic alphabet because I am not using any other words for the letters. Soul Assassin, hello.
Did you know that's still on? Yeah. Yeah, we knew that, Jarrell.
Yeah, he wrote the novelization for Rocky 2. He wrote the novelization for Rocky 2, and then I think one of the deleted scenes or something like that is like you partly find this out in the book and things like that, but Rocky's real first name is Robert.
Robert. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I do believe they actually have that in the church. They use his name during the wedding.
Yeah. This is another one I like. Do you have anything derogatory to say to the champ? Yeah, he's great.
Derogatory? Yeah, he's great. I mean, that's the wonderful thing. He is in these two movies, he is so uncultured. And that was part of the charm of him in this movie. Mm-hmm. Or in these movies. And then 3 on, he's, well, as Mick says in the third one, he's like, the worst thing happened that could have happened to any fighter. You got civilized.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And this we'll be talking about because this is basically this is the catalyst that spearheads the plot forward in terms of the rematch. Because remember, in the first movie, you hear the two near the end of the fight saying there's not going to be any rematch. Like, they are done with each other. Rocky went the distance. Rocky went the distance. It came down to a split decision amongst the judges, and it went the way of the champ, which is no surprise there. But since then, Apollo Creed has been getting hate mail following the events, accusing him essentially of, in so many words, taking a dive. Because he was fighting literally an underdog, a local boy, not even an established name as a fighter, and somehow couldn't beat him. So people were accusing him of essentially taking a dive, throwing, like, basically equivalent of phoning it in during the boxing match. They're basically accusing him, and so it's gnawing at Apollo, just like eating him up inside. And he says, "I won, but I didn't beat him." So that's what's important to him, basically. He wants to beat Rocky. Doesn't matter that he won. All that mattered was that he didn't actually beat him.
And he's
He
even
wants to challenge
told.
Rocky to a rematch.
And he's even told. It's like, you do know that if you're going to use the smear tactic, you will be setting yourself up as a bad guy. And he says, whatever gets him in the ring.
Yeah. Because even Mickey wants to punch Apollo Creed's lights out at one point in the movie.
Yeah, when he sees the interview, he's like,
yeah. Even he's ready to punch Apollo
that.
Creed out.
I think we ought to knock his buck off.
Absolutely.
Yes. And meanwhile, Rocky he's kind of like, when I say fighting his own demons, I mean Apollo Creed is dealing with hate mail and Rocky is dealing with people forgetting about him. So it's like the opposite of what Apollo Creed is dealing with.
I don't think
they've kind of moved on. They don't treat Rocky like a local celebrity or hero. They've kind of semi forgotten about him and moved on and don't really care that he went the distance.
Yeah, because he retired right then and there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, I'm retired now. And everybody's like, what? You got no freaking... Or it's like, okay, well, whatever. And he's dealing with having money and means now. And I like how this movie essentially allows him to find a little bit of humility. He's learning that with that high life, that high status, having the money, comes a certain, shall we say, expectation. And I absolutely hate that kind of situation when it comes to, if you have means, if you have money, you should spend it. No. It's not always the best idea. No,
when he kind of finds that out the hard way, especially since through no real fault of his own, at least for the meat plant he's working at, he's let go because, well, he's the low man on the totem pole, the proverbial totem pole. So, basically, if you're going to cut anyone loose, you're going to cut the new hires first because they haven't been there that long and they don't have any seniority. So he's learning the hard way that, one, it's, again, he's dealing with the opposite of what Apollo Creed is dealing with, and two, well, he's a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically he is a fighter. He's not really cut out for any normal jobs. Yeah,
and people don't want to see him doing that either. Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, really, you're a freaking champion. You went toe to toe with the champion. Why the hell are you getting an everyday job? Yeah. Well, he had tried going higher, like working at a bank or something, but the problem is that requires an education that he doesn't have.
Yeah.
So he has to work the menial labor jobs.
Mm-hmm. So,
and they direct him in commercials.
Even if he, what he should have done, I'm not saying that would have been it's set him up for life or anything like that, but what he should have done was actually take the advice of Gazzo, not necessarily investing in condominiums, but investing in something, taking some money.
Yeah.
And putting it into some type of stock that would grow.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love this moment in the movie.
Yeah. Because after this part, basically, kind of it shows the end of the first movie and basically directly continues on from where the events of the first movie end. And I put it on this scene because he actually finds Apollo's hospital room because they're both in the same hospital, and he's like, did you give me your best?
And he told him, yep, I did.
Yeah. He's like, yep. And that's all I think. It's all Rocky needed to know at that point.
Yeah. And Rocky basically now, folks, for those of you who don't know, if you ever get your nose broken, like I have, and you need corrective surgery, it is a bitch to breathe through your nose. Not only that, if the inside needs correction, they have to put splints in your nose to keep it straight. And let me tell you, that doesn't feel good at all.
No. Yeah, and Apollo, in his anger, immediately after the fight,
Yeah.
challenges him.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I ain't gonna be no rematch. I don't want one. Then at the hospital, where is he? I want a rematch.
Yeah,
It's like,
because now, like,
what,
you know,
you
it's like
think-
he's still on that, like now, like, you know, there's basically been that spike in adrenaline because of
he had time to think.
yeah. He actually had time to think, like, wait a minute.
You are lucky. Do
So-
I look lucky?
Yeah, that's why I put it. I put that, like, you know, like, quote on the thumbnail. Do I look lucky? You
Yeah.
were lucky. And I think, like, at one of the lines where it's like Rocky was paid 150, like, basically the pay was
Yeah.
150,000, but I think he only really netted like under 40,000. Like, cleared.
Yeah, he was able to. He got a house. He got a car. He got his wife a couple of baubles,
Mhm.
and then it's like, yeah, no more money.
So again,
Well,
just because you have the money doesn't mean you need to, like, spend it necessarily. I figure,
Yeah.
if anything, the house, because he was like, you know, he just about immediately proposes to Adrian after his stint in the hospital. So I'm like, you know what? If anything, yes, purchase a house. That at least, like, you know, would be an investment of sorts.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
from what, like, you know, growing up, every time I would talk, like, you know, look at possibly, like, you know, like getting a new car, I'd always be told a car loses its value as soon as it leaves the lot.
actually, a lot of people say that. The truth is, the second you get in it after it's bought and started, it's lost. That's when it
Yeah.
starts losing its value.
Whereas a house, that's, you know, like I said, essentially an investment.
Mm-hmm.
So that
And
what I could see, but he goes on like a little bit of a spending spree because he wants to splurge on his new wife, he wants to splurge on a car and things like that, and like, and he takes these awful
Mhm.
commercial jobs, and I'm like,
Well, that also, I'm a person that really does believe that things happen for a reason, and you're in the right place at the right time for those things to happen.
yeah,
And when he's brought into those commercials and he can't, or it's then realizes that he can't even read.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what helps him grow as a character, because his wife essentially teaches him with books, and the wife, or Adrian, is the best teacher for him because she's patient with him. She loves him.
yeah.
Where most others would be like, okay, come on, man, pick it up. You got to go. It's like, no, she's.
Whereas, like, if I
he's-
were to try to teach Mazza how to read, I'd be beating him with the thesaurus,
I mean, yeah.
most likely. But if
Smack
I
him with
ever
a
do,
break,
if I'm
goddammit.
ever, if I am ever able to teach Mazza how to read, chat, I deserve a sainthood, because that'll be a damn miracle.
Will it be a
'Cause
damn
he
miracle
pronounced-
or a
he
miracle?
pronounced-
miracle?
He pronounced consider, consider, and I was like, there is no hope for you. Yes, he pronounced it. I was like, there's no hope for you.
Mazza, dude,
Yeah.
seriously, I love you, but even I want to smack you right now.
So, but anyway, like, you know, and she's doing this because I just kind of like go back just to scroll back through, like, he's finding out here. Oh, where is it? Well, she gets pregnant right away.
Yeah. Or,
I think it's
or
about
wedding
right
bed
here.
or it's wedding bed
Right.
pregnancy.
Yeah, so it's like right here, and so she's teaching him how to read. Right, she's now pregnant, and because he's unable to continue with these commercials because he's unable to read, and he's taking this menial job at a meat pack, like it looks like a meat factory
Yeah.
/ packing plant.
Yeah, Paul is packing plant.
And basically put in a good word for Paulie to Gazzo. So now Paulie's taking over the breaking of the kneecaps job that Rocky once held.
Mhm.
That Adrian basically takes her old job at the pet store. So she's working again while pregnant to help make ends meet. On top of now a stress that begins because, well, where it says,
Overstressed. Yeah.
I think like, where's the, trying to find a scene where Apollo is like looking at the hate mail.
Well, that would be earlier,
Yeah.
right there.
You didn't beat nobody, and anybody who knows boxing knows the fight was fixed. Basically, he's being accused of taking a dive, of the boxing match being fixed, of phoning it in. Like he is like he is going through all this mail. His wife is telling him, I think it's his like wife, she's telling him like, stop it,
Yeah, that's his
stop
wife.
it, ignore it, just let it go, stop it, and
Yeah.
he can't.
Wouldn't you rather play with the kids?
Yes.
And this is what it's like. But the thing is, one person literally says in the mail, "Go delete yourself," and
Yeah.
it's like, really? Fuck, that's some serious hate, you know. But I mean, this for somebody who, well, not lost, but didn't win in his own mind. It's the same, or it's the same for any athlete. It's the unresolved issue.
Yeah, like in his mind, he didn't truly win, because to win would have meant not like either knocking Rocky out or down for the 10 counts, like legitimately beating him. So there would have been no need for any judge to step in to call the match at that point. So in his mind, like it's that win was
hollow, meaningless.
So that's why it's like now it's like he is like he immediately wanted to challenge Rocky to a rematch, like in the hospital. Now, like like you'd think if like he hadn't gotten those alerts, and maybe he would have calmed down. Like Saul might have like upset him, but like at least he would have calmed down. But no, like now he is now re-stimulated because of the hate mail he received. So now it's like he's now more determined than ever for that rematch match to happen with Rocky. Even his trainer is telling him, "You do not want that."
Yeah, and I love that moment with Duke because he's like, honest? Yeah, honest. Because he knows that, or he respects Duke. Duke Evers is, well, it's revealed in the 4th movie that he raised Apollo. And he's always been there for Apollo, so he knows that Duke won't lie to him. He's like, he is all wrong for us, man. I seen you beat that man like no man has ever been beaten, and that man kept coming after you.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Yeah.
You gotta let it go. And he's like, look, I appreciate the honesty. I can't let it go. It's just an itch that won't go away. It's that compulsion that just keeps needling in the back of your mind that says this has to be resolved or else it's not going to stop.
Yeah. Like it's this scene here, basically.
Yeah. Tony
honest,
Duke Evers.
Yeah, honest.
Yeah. It's a
So I gotta keep pausing
here.
and stopping because it's longer than 9 seconds.
Yeah.
It'll trigger something.
Yeah. They'll come at and say, "Oh, you screwed up."
He's all wrong for us, baby.
For us, baby. Yeah.
Basically, he's trying to like I love like the dynamic between like you see between Apollo and his trainer and Rocky and Mickey, basically.
Yep.
And the different.
They're both parental figures, but they're
both parental figures, and they don't both have like like the different styles because like you see Apollo's trainer like Duke is basically like it's how you would expect basically a champion boxer to train, and things like that. Mickey is having Mickey is having Rocky chase a chicken.
Mickey believes in the unorthodox methods of training.
Yeah, I'm saying like, it's like the different methods that like it's like normal and unorthodox. It's like the juxtaposition of the two in this movie.
Mm-hmm. And I like the unorthodox methods because the thing is, it's a natural way of training, and it actually benefits a lot greater because you are doing things that normal exercises and training won't do for you. you're moving in ways that you won't move in a specific exercise set. So yeah, when he's chasing the chicken, he's moving all sorts of different ways. His body is reacting in all sorts of different ways that you can't that you can't reproduce in a sterile environment like a gym.
Which is why like a lot of boxers take ballet. I'm not saying like it's like it's like basically like so that way they can move in ways that just simply training as a boxer that would not allow them to do so. So they incorporate different rather unorthodox methods in that regard. So
and then also you have Rocky when he finally does start getting start training again seriously or for seriousness after his wife wakes up from the coma later on. He's running and doing the jumps with the log on his shoulders to help train the knees and whatnot, which comes back to bite him later on in the years later in Rocky Balboa. But it's his method of training in this one as well as the fourth one and even in the third one, all are unorthodox in ways that just are not unorthodox, I guess, because it's out of his norm. So he has to adapt to it, and he finds that it works for him. I mean, the fourth movie, that dude is fucking ripped. In this one, he looks good, but the fourth one, damn, that dude is cut.
I think it's I was reading trivia and the scene talk about his like training when we get like a little bit closer to when he actually really begins training is that he ran the equivalent of a marathon, judging by the locations around the city.
Lower Philly to the art center. Yeah.
That he ran an equivalent of about 30 miles.
Oh yeah, that dude was running. He had kids running. Those kids, well, I don't think the kids all followed him from Lower Philly to the art center, but you could tell it's different days because it's obviously different kids that are running with him. But it's the training montage really works because it shows that a lot of people, LHR sees Rocky as a brother now after he shoveled snow over and over. Oh man, I live up in the mountains. Shoveling snow is just second nature. But the montage really shows the difference between him training before Adrian's before her medical problem, her coma. Sorry, had a memory slip. But and then after, where he is all for the training. He is nonstop. And it shows really because it does show Rocky's dilemma. She doesn't want him to fight. She doesn't want, or she's worried about him because, we haven't really covered it. He had a dislodged cornea or whatever it is.
Yeah, something like that. Because like they're looking at a replay of the match, and Mickey's biggest worry is Rocky protecting his eye.
Yep.
Because of what happened during the previous match.
Yep. And also, when he came back and said, can you train me to fight again? He's like, all right, I'm going to test you. With the left eye, he sees the eye. With the right one, he's like, I see it. No, you don't, man.
No.
And he's like, well, maybe you don't got it. And then Mickey just jabs him right in the face. And he's like, that was from a broken down pug like me.
Yeah.
What do you think Apollo will do?
Like, hurt me real bad? No, he's going to hurt you. Permanent.
And he'll hurt you permanent.
Yeah, and hurt you permanent.
The movie, folks, apparently in the years between Rocky 2 and 3, because years pass by, essentially, he must have had surgery that actually corrects his eye because it's never brought up again in the later films. But I do love the strategy that they go with, which is like, we're going to switch you up and we're going to make you fight right-handed.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, because, and if I remember correctly, I watched this movie yesterday, so I was like, it's recent,
Same
but
here.
so I just remember like just quite like I think Apollo, where Rocky's being trained because he's normally a southpaw to fight with his right hand primarily. Apollo trains as a southpaw because he thought so. They kind of flip.
Yeah.
They kind
And
of
that's
flip
even
because,
mentioned
yeah.
in the
Yeah.
fight too. It's like, did the switch change or did the switch bother you? He's like, switch didn't do that shit. Because it's just so great. And it's like, I love when he's learning how to fight right-handed. He's like, come on, Mick, I want to use my other arm. You do, and I'll chop it off.
Yeah.
I mean, Mick is just brutally blunt in
Yeah.
the best of ways. And that is what I love about Burgess Meredith as Mickey, because he can do it in such a way that even though he's dead serious,
Yeah.
it's like, oh my God, man. It's just, you can't help but laugh.
So I'd have to look up the name of the boxer again but the scene where Rocky is doing that little sparring match in the ring at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is before he basically way before he is invested actually like really in the training. Is an actual boxer that he's sparring against.
Oh, nice. Yep.
And the boxer itself is IMD would open for me, so I can. No, I don't want to share this tab instead.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, I hate StreamYard with a passion sometimes.
Same here.
Like it's like,
Haven't
oh,
been
you want to share
kicked
this
out of
one instead?
StreamYard
No, I don't
in a
want to
while,
fucking share that tab instead. I just want to look something up. You piece of shit.
Yeah. Who was the boxer that sparred with Rocky in Rocky 2? Oh, let's see.
Yeah, it's now I got IMDb up trivia. It's Roberto Duran. The sparring partner is played by real life champion Roberto Duran.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Real life champ.
Yeah, so real life champion. He's is in the ring with Rocky as the it's called the smaller, quicker fighter. Is an actual boxer. So yeah, that's a real boxer. Also, and there's a little bit of trivia about the final match that I don't think people know that I read, and I was like, huh, that actually made the scene really good. But yeah, so like this is where Rocky's not really like Rocky's being trained, but like it's not like really his heart's not entirely in it at this point. His heart's not entirely in.
He's conflicted.
Yeah, because Adrian doesn't want him to fight. He's being challenged. He has to answer the challenge. So part of him wants to fight, but another part of him doesn't want to fight because Adrian doesn't want him to fight. Right?
When you have an off-balance fighter, yeah, you're gonna have a problem. And then
when
Paulie
Paulie confronts her because of the confliction, and he blames her for it. Paulie's not the most tactful in his approaches, basically because she's already under stress and induces premature birth of Rocky's son. When because of loss of blood during the birth, she goes and slips into a coma.
Yep, from blood loss. And the thing in the scene that shows that Paulie, in his own way, cares for his sister, but is, as you said, not tactful, where she's like, don't say that. And he's like, I'm saying it. But the look in his eyes is not malice.
No, he's being straightforward. He's being straightforward with her. He's not sugarcoating anything because he ultimately places blame on her for the confliction within Rocky. Now, I wouldn't, I don't think it's necessarily fair to her because
she cares for him. She loves him.
Yeah, because she loves him. She cares, so it's not like she's doing it for any type of other gain other than she doesn't want to see him be hurt.
And she tells him that.
Yeah. So,
look, he gets hurt, you can come and go as you please. You don't care. I do. I love him.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's like developed a backbone since the first movie, like when she finally was able to finally confronted him in the first movie, and where she's like, it's like, yeah, you can come and go. I can't because I can't do that.
Unfortunately, standing up to him this time has consequences that are out of the ordinary, but also due to her condition of being pregnant.
Yes. So it's like, she, like I said, she was her, it's like, I like how they set the scene up where she's already under stress, and you see, like, you see that throughout the film.
Carrying
like,
a heavy seed, yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, and she's doing stuff that women who are 8 months pregnant should not be doing.
No.
But she basically has to be the breadwinner at this point because Rocky cannot do commercials because he could not read, and he lost his job.
I mean, he gave Paulie he sold Paulie the car.
Yeah. So she's essentially the breadwinner at this point, and she's stressed. She's overworked, and now she's being confronted and blamed by her own brother about the situation the man she loves is in.
Yep.
Well, baby comes. I gotta look up because I really think the ending was originally going to be a little bit different, but I gotta find.
The car, I believe, was a Thunderbird. I believe. Don't get me wrong.
It's like a Pontiac Trans Am or something like that. His car.
I don't know cars.
Yeah, so it says originally Adrian was supposed to be at the big fight. However, because Talia Shire was working on Old Boyfriends at the time, the storyline was changed to having her stay home and watch the fight on television. The scenes of her watching the boxing match on television were shot and then edited into the movie several months after filming, once this fight scenes had finished. And so I think basically, that ultimately works, given how the plot evolves in this movie for her to be at home.
Yeah. So. And I also like that because she comes out of the dang coma, and she's all for him to train and win. Yeah. And it's like, what changed? Because here's the thing, folks. My theory is because when you are in a coma, you do subconsciously hear everything around you. You do. And your brain can interpret it. So, yes, I do believe that she may have heard her husband's plight, that her husband rarely ever left her, that he was essentially, as Mickey said, blowing this joint. And it's like, well, if you're going to blow, we're going to blow together. And so she understood in that time of her being comatose, her husband is a fighter. She can't hold him back. All she can really do is love and support him because she's making him deny his nature, essentially.
Rocky 2 might be my favorite. It's more entertaining than the first one, but not as Hollywood as 3 and 4. I see.
Well, yeah, because 3 and 4, he's now more cultured. Where in these two, he's raw. He's a nerve.
So yeah,
he is unrefined swine, uncultured swine.
Yes. So so she's again, I feel like again, part of the reason why this movie, the second movie has a better story, whereas the first one is a straight up underdog story. It's simple. Basically, local boy goes toe to toe with champion, sort of a simple story. This one, I think, is more of a fleshed out actual story. Yeah, because we're seeing not just the immediate aftermath of the fight, but also the growth of Rocky as a character.
Yeah, I mean a good analogy is the first one is the seed, the second one is the challenges of blooming that seed.
Yes.
Because breaking out of that shell.
The first one, Rocky's I know I can't beat him.
Yep.
I'm, in so many words, a no-name boxer from Philadelphia. There's no way I can actually beat him. But I'm going to go the distance with him because no one else has ever done so. Literally became better writer, yes. So.
Yeah.
And you're like, you
And-
wrote the novelization, so.
Yeah. And as for Jarrell Mason's, who else got inspired to become a boxer after watching? Oh, I got inspired to fight after watching the movies. Not to fight people, but to pretend fight and whatnot. I mean, I grew up during or with movies like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Rocky, and all the other movies with Jean-Claude Van Damme. So by the time I was 6, I was doing a perfect spin kick. By the time I saw Rocky, or after I saw Rocky 3 and 4, I was doing right hooks like they were nobody else's business. So yeah.
Her permission also gave him not just the confidence, the confidence to win is also like basically the basically the drive to actually like really train. Like no more confliction. Like
Yeah.
the
He
focus
was a
is
caged
there.
beast, essentially. He was a caged beast. And when she said go out or win, she unlocked that cage.
Yeah.
She set him free. And it's in a way, or they always say, if you love something, set it free. Well, that's exactly what she did. Not domestically, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, we like just talked about
Thematically.
Rocky, the first movie last week. So like we and I know it was suggested like to do a watch party of Rocky 4 at some point on my Discord. So it's eventually, we'll get to Rocky 4.
Now, which one are you going to watch? Are you going to watch Rocky 4 or are you going to watch the Stallone cut of Rocky 4?
I didn't realize there was a Stallone cut of Rocky 4. So
Oh yeah, he released the Stallone cut.
Okay.
Or when you're watching Warm Bodies, search my library. I have it.
Okay. But probably if it's worth it, the Stallone cut, because generally I tend to go for director's cuts because that's the version the director would have or creator would have wanted you to see before the edits.
Yeah. He got rid of the robot.
So
I'm so glad for that cut.
So I'm just like I'm gonna have to like compare it to, because I like didn't realize there was a Stallone cut. So I'm coming from the perspective of the original. So I'm like I gotta. Normally I gravitate director's cuts, but I gotta see like what he does. So.
Yep. I have all the movies, including the Stallone cut. So yeah, if you want to check it out, check it out.
So yeah, basically this is so much time,
Yeah.
And this is where,
and I like how
that's his real son, as I said, and like this is where she's telling him win.
Yeah, and I like how the first movie starts the fight at like 1 hour 40. This movie starts the fight at 1 hour 40.
Yeah,
I mean, it really is a nice mirror, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like she's some win.
Yeah,
not just fights. Win.
Yep.
So that's what I love about this scene is again she's not just telling him to go out and fight, she's telling him like do it for me, win. And now is like his focus is now there's no fog, there's no confliction. Now he's actually going to train, and we get the montage again.
I just love me.
And
what
I dare anyone not to get pumped with the is now known as the Rocky theme music.
Yeah, I mean everybody calls it the Rocky theme. It's and the song's like Gonna Fly, or is called Gonna Fly now.
I know, but it's like you hear the music, it's like Rocky theme. It's like basically, like I dare people not to get pumped when they hear that. So
no, who doesn't? I mean, that could wake a person out of a frickin'. No pun intended for this movie. That movie could wake a person out of a coma, and they would just start running, even if they've been in a
like
coma
I said,
for a year.
It's like yesterday or not yesterday, but last week when we were talking about Rocky, and every time I hear the theme, my mind we'll gravitate to this like step-by-step episode where
Mhm.
Cody is basically training the one younger son for a karate tournament, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And the little kid is about ready to give up because he can't get a grasp on like what he's being trained. And Cody's like, I don't want to do it, but I gotta. And he presses play on the boombox that he has like outside and starts playing the Rocky theme. And he's like, theme from Rocky. And it just like motivates the kid to start fighting. So you have like the Rocky montage in that episode, basically.
Yeah.
For this, like for comedic purposes. But every time I hear this,
Yeah.
Rocky theme is already, yeah. But every time I hear that, I kind of gravitate to that episode because I used to watch that show. But again,
Nice.
like I dare you to like not get pumped, not want to start running. I like when I was doing pre-deployment training, I think it was for Iraq or something, or I can't remember if it was like pre-deployment training or if it was one of those where it's like you had to take some type of training course for like my specialty in the Air Force. And we were in New Jersey because it was can't remember if I don't think we were at Fort Dix or not. But anyway, we were able to take like a train into like either to Philly or to New York, basically from where we were. And this one officer, his goal when the training course ended was to ride into Philadelphia and film himself, have someone film him running up the steps to the Philadelphia Art Museum, or the steps that he's running up. Like that was his goal. It was to go into Philadelphia and do that. Well, even still, like Eye of the Tiger, Rocky theme, like guarantee, like like you don't you challenge anyone not to get pumped when you hear those songs.
I mean, all of the songs. I love the Rocky IV songs best when it comes to any of the themes. I mean, Eye of the Tiger is great, but No Easy Way Out and the other one is just so freaking great.
Yeah. And like where he starts running here, now again, it's like it's not the same day, it's different days, but those who live in Philadelphia basically tracked from where he started to where he ended up, and it was the equivalent of 30 miles.
Yeah,
that he ran.
Hearts on Fire. Thanks, Trey.
Mm-hmm. I like Burning Heart. So I like
Burning Heart is a good one too. I mean,
they
killed it with they did a great job with the Rocky IV soundtrack.
Yeah. So, and then again, it's like, part of me has like a feeling that I'm Forrest Gump. I'm not saying that they were parodying in a sense the scene, but basically this one here, it's like but it ends up with like people like running with Rocky behind them, like running with them during the montage. Whereas like I think like Forrest Gump is like people just started running with him because he just wanted to run.
What the fuck? Some Norwegian guy, drunk 3PO, went there to run up the stairs, but because of gunfire, he had to get the fuck out of there. What the fuck?
I mean, granted, like when the officer wanted to do this, it was like no later than 2010, I want to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a while back that this happened. So we didn't have to really worry about gunfire that much back then. But now, now it's like people I got back into watching wrestling, and people are if any event comes to Philadelphia, they're like, oh, like oh, would you go there? And I'm like, fuck no.
Would you go to Philly?
No.
Why?
Yeah, like no.
Well, you don't want to go to Philly? Why? Give me a reason. That's where
the only reason I would go to Philadelphia. There's only one reason I would go to Philadelphia, and I would make damn sure that we are in at least our hotel reservations are in a safer part of town, and that is there's a museum there that my mom really wants to go to at some point, and that is the Muter Museum, where it's I think that's what it's called, basically, but the Oddities Museum, basically Medical Oddities Museum. And it's like she really wants to go there, and like that would be the only reason I would, break down and go, would be to take her. Would be to go to that museum for her. Otherwise, nope.
Yeah.
Nope. I have no fucking reason. Yeah. So.
I mean, I've been asked why.
Well, now they add gunfire to that. So basically, whatever relay you run, added motivation there.
Yeah.
So.
I mean,
I don't know if there's a Rocky tour or anything like that, but.
Well, that's the thing. The Rocky or Balboa movie, I believe they brought back a lot of the old town and showed or did a tour of the old town in the special features. I have to go back and check. It's more than an expo, Soul Size, and it's an actual museum. I'd have to find the name basically. I might be butchering the name, but it's an actual museum. So it's not just an expo. It's an actual museum where it shows these scientific and medical oddities. Yeah, it is a real thing. It is a real thing. It's kind of like Chirac, where Chicago has literally become like an Iraqi war zone. Philadelphia is pretty much a real thing. Yep.
But anyway, so moving on, I'm gonna get to the final fight.
Yeah.
He's
still mad, or he's still
he's still mad. I was hoping he wouldn't show.
Yeah. There's
a part in this match. I think it's it's round 2, or one of the rounds, and you see them is
it the slow motion?
Hold on. All right, well, I'm try to find the name for Soul Assassin. See, it's Mortuary Museum, and it's
Philadelphia Oddities Museum.
Yeah. If I could spell the Muter, Mutter, Muter Museum at the College of Physicians of Philadelphia. It's that's the Muter. Can I highlight this? It's this here. I'll put it in the. Yeah. So it's I had to find the spelling of it basically, but that's where she wants to go. But anyway, there's a part in this fight where the ref has to break them up because they're kind of locked and think it looks really heated during the match.
Mm-hmm.
That was real. That was real according to the trivia because Carl Weathers and even though the fight was choreographed during the filming of the fight scenes, landed some hits on Stallone, so they almost got into a real fight. During that scene, they almost got into a real fight. It was an actual real fight, and that's because Stallone got angry and was confronting Carl Weathers, but they were filming the fight scenes at this time, and it ended up in the movie because it worked. So they were actually livid with each other.
Yeah.
At that part in the movie, it almost was an actual fight during this during the choreography.
That is just so freaking great. I mean, that's the lovely thing about his movies, Stallone's movies. A lot of people don't know this, but he likes to use genuine emotion in certain bits. So, or Rocky Balboa being one of them, he's he wants the guy who plays the champ to actually know what it's like to take the hit, even though the kid's an actual boxer. But he's I want you to know what it's like to actually get hit by me. So,
yeah.
He actually convinced him to.
Which fight was better, this one or the first?
This one.
For me personally, I gravitate to the first one just because I thought it was more visceral.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was
yeah.
way more. It
I
was
can-
far more far more visceral because the fact it's this one here. This one is very good. This one is like very well choreographed and everything, and it
This
did
one
get
is definitely more refined.
yes, it's a bit more refined. Where the other one is again no,
Wasn't-
like I know Rocky is not going to win, but it's like you feel each punch that
Yeah.
happens. So I gravitate towards the first one in terms of that. But both fights are but it's like they're almost like nearly neck and neck in terms of quality. It's just like there's different like pros to each one.
Yeah. You
This one's
see,
a bit more refined, but it gets like heated, like actually like emotional. Whereas the other one was like, oh shit, this guy's actually thinks he's in a real fight. Now I gotta
Yep.
fight.
and then in this one, you see that Apollo's just not playing.
No.
He plays a little bit with him. He's like, get your cameras ready, get your cameras ready. And then he actually, it's like, seriously, Rocky, you could see this this tell a mile away. Why didn't you block that? Or
Yeah.
why didn't you slip that punch, man?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there are some great parts. Now, there's a bit in the slow motion where you see him hit Rocky twice, and it's like, dude, are you just using your head to block each and every one of his punches? Because that's not how blocking.
Oh my god. Totally different movie, but when you said that, I thought of Kung Pao Enter the Fist, where went below is like face to fist style. How do you like it? Like that's what it felt like.
Yeah,
Face to fist
It's like-
style.
that's a Rocky 3 line there, Jarrell. I ain't breathing heavy. Yeah, that's when he was fighting Mr. T. But in this one, it's like, oh man, what? He broke my nose again. After all the freaking surgery to get his nose fixed, he gets it broken.
Yeah.
Again. It's like, why would you have or get your nose? I mean, focus, sure, the eye, but why get your nose fixed if you only know that you're going to get it broken again, you know?
I think it's about right here or close to it when it actually legitimately got heated.
Mm.
Because Carl Weathers, like I said, it's intentional or not, he landed a few hits on Stallone. Wasn't supposed to.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you son of a bitch. You want to cheap
Yeah.
shot me?
Yeah. So,
That Italian rage, folks. Italian
Yeah.
rage.
mhm. Again, going back to the first one, that's like really the only reason Apollo Creed picked Rocky in the first place because of the Italian
The
stallion.
Italian stallion.
Yes.
Jinx, by the way.
So, but there, like again, and like as Trey pointed out, this one here, there is a definite victor in this match, which makes it nice, and that is, and it ends up being Rocky.
Yep.
And I like the fact that it wasn't like a clean TKO or anything like that, because Apollo does try to get up.
Oh yeah.
They both are trying to get up, and it's literally at the last possible second that Rocky gets to his feet.
And Apollo just can't pick himself up.
No, just
But-
can't pick,
oh,
just
shit.
can't pick himself
Nothing
up.
in the tank. Literally
It's like they
use
both,
my
like-
last adrenaline just to get up to the second rope. Oh fuck, I'm done.
Yes. Hold on.
I mean, it's a great moment. And he's lifting him right off the freaking canvas there.
Trying to like get to the part where they both they literally punch each other,
Yeah.
and then boom, they both go down because
It's like, oh,
they both land the hits.
oh yeah, you're
It's like
getting
they're
ready,
like
or
barely standing now. They're barely
go forward
standing.
10 seconds.
I think it's
Alright,
a little
no.
too much.
Yeah. You're too close. Right here.
Boom. Like Rocky lands a punch, but
And then
because
suddenly
he,
his balance is off.
yeah, his balance goes, so they both end
Yeah.
up down on the ground.
I mean, Rocky literally got up in just in time to win, and just as one of his cornermen catch him, he's literally collapsing as soon as they say you're out. he's collapsing right then and there. I mean, the dude found just enough energy to stand up before to win before collapsing again. It's like, oh my God, somebody catch me.
So, yeah. So, like, and it's like you're like still at like again like basically this is where the movie ends, much like the first one. Chat. So if you haven't it's like so it's not much more after this. Apollo fails to stand in time. Rocky does stand in time, which definitively makes him the champion. And Apollo, to his credit, does congratulate Rocky. I think Apollo. I think I like how it's like I like his character in this one because like he needed while he's a heel. He acts like a heel because he's trying to goad Rocky into a rematch.
He's still an honorable athlete.
He's still an honorable athlete. All right, and he had to get he had to get that anger out.
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
This is basically this is Apollo Creed's Rocky Balboa fight. This is his last fight, which shouldn't basically, I mean, yes, he goes up against Drago, but this was basically the last fight he had in him.
Mm-hmm.
Because the one that he does with Drago is honestly an empty tank fight. There's no beast in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
In this one, there was that. It's like, I need to know. And this is my last chance to know. Like
basically, I need to know, was it a fluke that you won? Yeah. Or at least that I only won by technicality. Was it a fluke? I need to know if you are really that good. Yeah, it's supposed to be just an exhibition, basically. That's why I love the first one, because this trainer's like, oh shit, he thinks he's in a real fight. He doesn't realize it's supposed to be a damn show.
Yeah, he doesn't know it's a damn show. He thinks it's a fight.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh shit, man.
Yeah.
So
like I said, they do become friends.
With a brawler, man.
Yeah.
What you think was going to happen? And the thing is, folks,
count, boom, the champ is trying, and he's down. Yeah, shock the world.
Yeah, Apollo could have won. Apollo could have won if he had just listened to Duke. Just stay away from him. Let the time run down. You're winning on points. It's just he didn't listen. He couldn't listen. He had to know.
Yeah.
And he got his answer in this fight.
Mm-hmm.
He was satisfied and he respected him and whatnot.
Yeah,
right,
so basically they do shake hands. Yeah, they shake hands. Like there is still honor.
Yep. God, look at his freaking face.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, dude, can you even see right now?
Yeah, so I'm like, what happened to protecting your eye? Anyway.
Yeah. What eye?
Yeah. But anyway, so that is basically the end of the movie. It ends much like the first one in the sense that the credits start rolling and they're still in the ring sort of situation. So, and that's basically the first movie, the last 10 minutes is up to the credits is the fight, the boxing match.
Yeah.
Hello, memes. Hope you enjoy the replay because we are just wrapping up talking about Rocky 2, and that is the second of the 1s and 2s for this month, as we talk about basically the first and the second of either the first and second movies themselves. You can't see the posters, but we talked Boondock Saints 1 and 2 because there are only 2 Boondock Saints movies, or the first 2 movies of a franchise like Rocky, Terminator, Predator, and
There's
so forth.
There's a third Saints coming.
I know, but I'm of the mindset now where it's like I don't want it.
Could it be too late? Yeah.
Because that's where I'm coming from now. It could surprise me, much like Top Gun Maverick did, because when that movie was announced, I was like, holy, it's been nearly 30 years. Why the fuck are you releasing another one?
Yeah.
Basically, why the fuck are you only releasing a sequel now? But, I enjoyed Top Gun Maverick. So it could surprise me, but at the same time, it's like the last movie, Boondock Saints 2, that was 2008. It'll be 16 years last year,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not really going to get it until like what, next year, if at all.
Yep.
Because I haven't heard any word of it releasing this year, so that's going to be like nearly 20 years. I was going to audition if they filmed in Boston. You know what? I would have auditioned as an extra if they had filmed where I live too, but I knew that there was no way. I'd have to go up in there, like, a little bit further northeast. Because it's Baston.
Yeah.
So
I think they're
that's
going
cool.
global in the third.
Well, they
Nerdrotic
kind of have-
interview
they
with the
kind of
Boondock
have-
Saints director. On
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, they kind of,
He
in a
actually got
way,
Troy
have
Duffy.
they kind of in a way have to because of how the second one ended, and only because of like the not ended, but like the illusion in the second one of like people like being inspired by the Saints
Yeah.
or situation. So
Yeah.
there's no they'd have to go global in a sense
Yeah.
for the third one. I want so bad, like, two of my next tattoos to be the words that the brothers have tattooed on their
Veritas Equitas.
fingers. Yeah, but like
Yep.
down my hips, basically, like my waist, my hips. So
Damn, girl.
Yeah. So Equitas on my right because Murphy has it on his right hand, and Veritas on my left because Connor has it on his left hand. So I want that, and hold on, I'll show you where they changed this shit on StreamYards.
Ugh. Soul Assassin,
Layout
I'll
and
have an
everything.
even better one coming for my
I want
birthday.
this as a tattoo. This little Revi chibi they have.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, I want that as a tattoo.
Nice. Where are you gonna get it? Bicep?
That will most likely be probably actually more. I think I would put that on my back, but above my lower back tattoo.
Oh, nice.
And then the other tattoo I want to get at some point down the road are this is like the, I guess, coup de grace tattoos for me. I don't want to get anything on my face or neck because I want to be able to kind of, depending on what I do, be able to hide them. I'm used to that for the military. Is wings on my shoulder blades.
Oh, nice.
That's what I want to get. Like angel wings or some type of wings on my shoulder blades. So that's kind of like, would be like my coup de grace tattoo.
Conroy, I could have gone a whole nother year without hearing that name.
Well, Rhea Ripley's my favorite. Would I get any tats on my arms? If I do, it'd be like on my upper arms again. So, because I'm used to having to hide tattoos, and if I end up becoming like a full-time teacher, some school districts are pretty anal neurotic about tattoos.
Like, if you're gonna teach kids, you're gonna be professional.
Yeah, so I'd have to be able to hide them.
I had a teacher that she had tattoos and whatnot, so she had to wear a thing on her wrist because she had tattoos or a tattoo there. But there were some times she didn't care if her tattoos were seen, and yeah, she had a tramp stamp.
That's where my back one is basically. Like for me, I personally would not care if they're seen. They're not obscene or anything like that. So it's not like I'd be like, offending anyone with my tattoos. It's just like some professions are just uber conservative and traditional in their mindsets. So it's like depending on the district itself, some are more conservative than others. So it's like, like me personally, I wouldn't care, but school school administrators might.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not doing the Randy Orton arm sleeve. I've never really liked those as tattoos, especially on women. I don't know what it is, but especially on women, I've never liked arm tattoos. Never liked the sleeve tattoos.
If I ever was to get a tattoo, I'd probably get a Watcher tattoo from Highlander on the wrist.
Mm-hmm.
That's
for me. I generally keep them,
about as far as mine would go.
Yeah, I generally keep them kind of like except for the wings, like say, like on the smaller size. That's that, like it's like I don't overly do it.
Yeah.
But anyway, like I said, like when I'm from military,
I get it.
and even they were like let's say if you had like tattoos on your arms, basically,
Mhm.
they had to be covered because you had to be professional. So if you had like tattoos up here and you could roll your sleeves up but still hide the tattoo, that was fine. But if you had tattoos down your arms, well, guess what, buddy? You're not rolling your sleeves up.
Yeah, they I believe they may have laxed them now. Or
Yeah,
laxed
but like
that,
when I for a while it was like so it doesn't matter if you're in like 100+ degree temperatures in the desert. Basically, you're going to be professional, and that means keeping your sleeves down. Oh well.
Yep. And if you ever get tattoos in the military, you are automatically exempt from any sort of special forces work that requires any sort of undercover operations, from what I understand. Unless your tattoos are not a specific giveaway.
Well, like mine, they'd have to be able to see mine. So like I have one here, one on my lower back, and the other ones I'd get basically I would unless you knew for sure I had like where I had them, they'd be hidden.
Yeah.
But yeah, like tattoos, like you're not allowed because they would be a dead giveaway. So someone like giving a description of you and something stands out like a tattoo, you can't be too careful. But anyway, chat. So that is our discussion of Rocky 2. So before I give my outro, Orange Chat, let everybody know what you have coming up and all that fun stuff.
Well, tomorrow on X is 8 p.m. sharp is Warm Bodies with me and Mara. Friday is Orange Chat Uncensored. Saturday, 8 p.m. to midnight is my birthday stream. So yeah, I'm going to be doing 4 hours for 40 years. Sunday will be the weekly recap, and Tuesday will be God of War. My thoughts on the God of War video game franchise and their story, or the story modes of the game and whatnot. Other than that, also Tuesday night is Barroom Podcast, where me and Society Reviews and others are on his channel talking about other stuff or other news and whatnot going on. And yeah, I'm also trying to reach 2,000 subs, so any help there, folks, is appreciated.
Mm-hmm. And as for me, as Orange Chat said, I will be discussing Warm Bodies with him on his X accounts. So tune into that about 8 p.m. Eastern. Friday, the plan is to do both a gaming stream and a reading stream. The game itself, and I will remind to my nerdy home of this. The game itself is a game called Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. It is a bomb defusal game, basically EOD set to a cheap game, essentially. And one person is the one who defuses the bomb, while the other person is the one looking at the manual and telling said other person how to do the defusing. Well, anyone who knows my nerdy home and me knows that she is the goldfish brain and I am the elephant brain. She's going to be the one telling the goldfish is going to be telling the elephant how to defuse the bomb. And meanwhile, the elephant is going to be using the military phonetic alphabet on the goldfish, as well as how to properly say like the Morse code. It's not long dots, it's dash and dots. Yeah, so we'll be playing that game. Should be playing that game early evening Friday. Hopefully no later than 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And then, like I said, I'm hoping to jump onto doing a reading stream after we end the gaming stream. Saturday, if I do anything, it's going to be offline through my Discord because I have to watch the replay of SmackDown, have that watched before the Royal Rumble starts. I'm going to do a watch party of the Royal Rumble, and that starts, I believe, at 6 p.m. Eastern. So it's like about 2 hours earlier than events normally start. So I don't think I'm going to have time to do any stream of any kind at all. Then Sunday, Talk Nerdy to Us should be on my Nerdy Homes channel. her YouTube channel this coming 8:30 p.m. Eastern Sunday, and then I will let you know as soon as I have a definite idea. But the following week, which should be the 9th, I want to say, it's a 50-50 chance of whether or not there's going to be a stream, because My Nerdy Home will be at MegaCon in Florida. And if that's the case, it's a 50-50 chance we'll be doing the stream because of that whole situation. But I'll let you all know. And if we don't do Talk Nerdy, then I'll do a gaming stream Sunday evening. But I won't know for sure until the closer we get to that, because I won't know until I know for sure if she takes the laptop or not, because last time she forgot. So I'm going to have to remind her to take it this time. So, but anyway, yeah, well, no, I'll be focused on describing the different modules to her. So there it is. But anyway, take care, chat. Have a good rest of your day or evening, wherever you are in the world. And we will see you all tomorrow talking warm bodies. Peace.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.